showing out, making moves, no doubt. FFA pride, it's what we're all about. From classroom dreams to real world flair, we got the stories you won't find anywhere. Beyond the jacket where the stories unfold, voices of the future, fearless and bold. Tune in now, let the passion ignite. It's more than a jacket, it's a way of life. Beyond the jacket where passion meets purpose.
All right, guys, welcome back to Beyond the Jacket podcast. We're excited to have you back. I'm excited to be talking with an ag teacher today, Miss Annie Brooke, about her classroom, her students, and her journey in the Blue Jacket. Why don't you introduce yourself?
Well, hi, my name is Annie Brooke. I am from Southwest Iowa, so we always kind of talk about the little corner. We're about 20 minutes from Missouri border, 45 from Nebraska. So way down in the corner is the little town of Clarinda. So I live here with my husband and our 10-month-old, oh my gosh, almost 11-month-old son, Lawson, and our dog, Ruger, where we also farm, row crop, cattle, pigs, and then, of course, like you said, I teach ag, which is obviously the best career, duh.
Well, thanks for coming on. You seem full of energy and so bubbly. I'm the exact same way, so I'm super excited to chat about all things ag. Let's start at the very beginning. Where did you get your roots in agriculture?
Yeah, so way back at the beginning, my mom raised pigs for a living for several years, and that is kind of where we started. I never fiddle farted with that a lot because I was too little, and I know my mom, like, there's pictures of me like with the baby piglets because she was working, and so she'd sit me down and I just hung out with baby piglets all day. So way back then I was always involved, but my true kick was when I got into high school. My dad and I trained horses. My SAE kind of focused on running the social media, doing the customer connections, and building our customers basically to make the horse training business successful. So we did that. Yeah, it was super fun. We did that in the summer. We trained about 25 horses every summer, which was honestly jam-packed, super crazy. My task in the morning would to be ride about 3 to 4 horses. And then in the evening, I would also do the same thing, also while preparing for county fair, because I showed for 4-H. I know, how bad, but I showed for 4-H horse-wise and did that for most of my summers. Then when it came to school, I went to Clarinda High School. That's where I graduated from. And I didn't want to be an ag. I was like, no, why do I want to go be an FFA? That sounds weird. Don't feel like it. I don't want to. And so I did not get into an intro to ag class with the rest of my class. I got into a random landscaping class because my mom made me. And when I was they were starting to get ready for contests, and my ag teacher came and found me and was like, do you want to compete in an ag class or an FFA contest? And I said, okay. And he goes, okay, well, we'll work out this arrangement with your math teacher so that way you can come down for just a little bit of class, because we would like learn the basics of conduct in class with the rest of the class. So I did that. And then after that, I was hooked. So did a little bit of contest, learned a little more about FFA and ag. And then after that, I was kind of hook, line, and sinker. So super active in FFA my high school years. Attended Iowa State University. Go Cyclones. We love them. But I was at Iowa State University. I majored in ag econ for about 1 week. And I said, ooh,
I'm not a math girl either.
I'm not a math person. I don't know who thought that was a wise idea to send me in there, but we did it for a week, said no thank you. Was in AgCom for like until my sophomore year. And then my sophomore year, I kind of was kicking around. I was like, maybe I want to be an ag teacher. I don't know. I don't know what I want to do with my AgCom major. And I was with my ag teacher, Mr. Andy Johnson, who was a phenomenal teacher. Like I said, is the reason I became a teacher. And Eric Miller, who was the Atlantic FFA ag teacher. And both of them looked at me and they're like, so when are you changing your major to ag ed? And I said, what? And they were like, we've been waiting for you.
Ooh.
No. And Johnson was like, just think about it. And I was like, okay. And then Mr. Miller was like, you could do your 16 observation with me, like your 16 hours. You can come down. It'd be great. And I was like, okay. Well, then my junior year, I decided to change it. So it kind of was a long road, a lot of major changes, but always ended up where I was supposed to be.
Well, that's awesome. And I think like your journey from not wanting to do ag in the classroom to becoming a teacher is so unique. And in all honesty, even though it is unique, you listen to a lot of students that their freshman year, they were like, I don't think I want to do ag. That doesn't sound cool. And then one of their friends does it, or they meet another person in class, or the teacher is like, I think you need to do this.
Right.
And then they're hook, line, and sinker and never come back up for air.
Yes.
And I think that's a story that's told through a lot of students in the Blue Jacket. And I think it's unique that now you're a teacher and can be like, I used to be like you.
Yes.
And I think you need to be in my classroom.
Yes.
And your teachers did so much for you.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah. Talk about their impact beyond like your career.
Oh gosh. I don't think I could say honestly enough good things, especially about Iowa FFA. I've had the opportunity to work with so many FFA advisors and ag teachers that their impact was far beyond than I honestly could measure in words. Just learning about who I was as a person. Mr. Johnson was the reason that I learned a lot about myself. He got me into conduct of meetings, parliamentary procedure, soils judging, and a big one for me was public speaking. He got me pushed into that, and that taught me so much about myself, how to talk. I'm a great yapper, but how to talk professionally and I want to say like better, because I'm really good at just jabbering, but having a point behind the thing that I'm wanting to convey. I have a lot of great mentors. My cooperating teacher, Molly Dolch, she was a great person too that always asked questions to. And she's been one that I look to now that I'm a mom. How do you handle FFA? Because we love our ag teachers and we love our FFA advisors, but it's a lot when you're also trying to learn how to be a mom, because you've been a mom to other kids. And now how do you be a mom to your own? And how do you juggle all of that balance? So watching those kind of, those people show you how to best balance everything. And it's also been fun. Mr. Johnson has 4 previous students that are now ag teachers, and one of them is my best friend since 3rd grade. So we became ag teachers together. We've become moms together. Gosh, we got married in the same year. So it's been fun to just kind of help each other through everything. There's a lot of avenues of life that you learn, and the people that were once very high mentors, which are still very high mentors, are also now really good friends that it's fun to celebrate small accomplishments with them.
Oh, absolutely. And all those people that have an impact, you don't realize it in 3rd grade that your best friend is going to go on and be in the same career as you. Maybe you might, as little girls, dream that up in your head, be college roommates, all the things.
Right, yeah.
That doesn't always happen. I think it's really special for you. I met my best friend at an FFA summer camp, and now this fall she gets to transfer into UF with me, and it's a good experience to kind of see where life takes you and the impact of others and how they've impacted your life. Is there kind of one of those big aha moments or stories where a student has come back to you and been like, Ms. Annie, you have impacted my life?
Yeah, there was one this year. It was a very special. Oh my gosh, I might tear up. I can't even lie to you.
That's okay. We like
authenticity. Yeah. There is a award that they give in Southwest Iowa. It's called the Charles Lakin Award. And basically recognizes 4 teachers within a 40-mile radius of a tiny little town called Emerson. Charles Lakin was a previous teacher who had great impacts on students, and his foundation started an award that recognizes teachers within rural areas. And I was super honored to receive that award this year. Thank you. All due to one of my previous students. She nominated me, and oh my gosh, she was my first senior, my very first year. my first year of teaching, there was only one senior. It was McKenna, and yeah, she was a rock star. I kind of waltzed in as a baby teacher and I said, all right, what do you want to do? Because I'm down for anything. Like, let's make this work. They had a great foundation, but it was like, let's do. Well, like, what do you want to do? I don't have any other obligations besides, being in charge of you guys. So, like, let's give all my time. I have nothing else to do. And they took it and absolutely ran with it. So she nominated me for the award. I called her after I got it, and I was like, "You turd!" She goes, "I've nominated you for 4 years. I'm so excited." So, yeah, I've been super fortunate to have students that were unbelievable. They are always committed, always wanted to do great things, achieve some of the greatest stuff. And I just was so proud to be beside them. So McKenna is a great example. I have a previous student that now lives close to me that every once in a while, hey, I need help with a job. What do you recommend? Or have you heard of any job openings? Like, how can I better prepare for this? And I still get contacts from her all the time. I've got another student that, once again, he just, hey, what's going on? Like, I have this opportunity. Do you think you could help me with it? So, or if you're at FFA State Convention and they come find me, because they go to Iowa State and they know that I'm there, so they'll come find me at convention, and it's the greatest thing. So I've been really blessed with awesome students.
Yeah, it's kind of like we talked about before hitting the record button today. Like, teachers are more than a teacher. They're a best friend, a mom, a sister, all of the things, maybe even an authority figure to kick you back in line from time to time.
Yes.
But ag teachers, like, they teach the biggest lessons about our industry, but about life. And I think I learned more about life in my ag classroom than I ever did, like, in true academic schooling. And that's no like pawn on them, but I truly learned about a lot of things in my ag classes. What's one of those like big lessons that your students taught you though?
Oh gosh. I always say that my job is to teach you about ag, but my real job is to teach you how to be a good human. And I think that is a lot of things that my students always are good at, about like reflecting. Like, hey, we see that you're having a bad day, Mrs. Brooke. Like, what can we help with? Because they really do. And sometimes I think high schoolers get sold short, or middle schoolers, they get a little sold short. Like, hey, what are their goals? And I really think that they're learning how to be good humans, and we just have to remember that and give them grace. I think the word grace is a big one. You can get frustrated. There's always days that you're going to be like, what in the world? Why did I do that? And then one kid will say something that you're like, and that's why I do that. Because they're great and they just need some love. And I think the word love is a big one, is that you've got to learn to love the different seasons of life, because they go through a lot of them. But you got to remember the love that you have for the education system, but for what you're teaching them. And some kids just need extra love, and being able to give that to them. It can look in different forms. You'd be surprised how excited they get for showing up to a baseball game, or if you see them in public, they're so excited just to say hi. So remember to give them love, give them patience, give them grace. And boy, even if it's a bad day, the next class has not done anything wrong. So just take a deep breath and be positive for them, because they need it.
Oh, no, I love that. And I think that's so true. My ag teacher always told me, she was like, I love each and every one of you differently. And I don't think I realized what that meant until I was retired out of the jacket. Like, there were some kids, tough love is what they needed. They needed that extra push. Or other kids that might not have had the best home life, and she was their outlet in their home. And I definitely did not understand that, because I was probably the one that needed the tough love from time to time, the little push, paid, straighten up, get to work. And I think looking back, ag teachers, man, their jobs, like you said, the empathy and compassion you have to have, and then to reset every however many minutes your class periods are, that you can't let it affect the next one. And you can't let it affect your home when you come home, and it's hard to disconnect.
Yes. And then I teach 6 through 12. So then it's like,
Oh my gosh.
yeah, you got to go from seniors into middle schoolers. And some days you're like, dudes, what are you doing? Like the middle schoolers, come on guys. And they're like, oh no, this is on me. Like you've got to really think about your mindset and what your expectations are, because they're so much different just because of maturity.
I cannot imagine going from sixth grade to seniors. Tell us more about that, the challenges you face with it, or do you really enjoy the difference? It kind of gives you a break from one maturity level to the other.
Yeah, it's a lot of chaos. I'm very good. I've noticed that chaos, that's kind of where I thrive the most. I'm a big personality. You learn to love me is what I tell the students. Like you will walk in and you will be like, who is this crazy lady? Please help us. And I'm like, oh my God, hi, guys.
Spontaneously start dancing. So I totally understand.
Yeah, that is my jam. I love to dance. I have songs. I have cheers. If you turn in your phones, like I have a phone song and everything.
Oh my God.
Every single day, you have to tell me something good about your day. I had students that were just super negative Nancy's, and I was like, nope, mm-mm. So every single day, the kids have to tell me something good about the day, and they get mad if you don't ask them. But yeah, it's a big task sometimes to think about, okay, I am talking about our plant sales. So let's get down to the nitty gritty details. We need to talk about budget. We need to talk about how we're going to get money. We're going to talk about planting dates, all this stuff. And then you go to sixth grade ag, or this year I had a lot of eighth graders. So I had more quarters of eighth grade. It was like, okay, and now we're making butter. Shoot, we got to get everything lined up so that way we have all the ingredients for butter making, because that will go disastrous if you're not prepared. So yeah. It's just a lot of like jumping back and forth, remembering if you don't have a planner, I don't know how teachers survive without one, but making sure I have stuff.
Right.
Yes. Or I think a thing that has really saved me is having students help, because they want to help, and that's even easier if I'm like, hey, we need ice for making ice cream. Can you guys go get a bucket of ice? They're more than happy to go help. So I think that's been something that I've really had to accept, is more help. Because I love to do things by myself. I love to be independent, and asking for help sometimes is something that I am a downfall on. And the students want to be helpful if you give them the opportunity to. So we're getting better now that this is year 6. I'm like, oh yeah, you guys can actually do stuff here.
I feel like you and my ag teacher would be really good friends, Miss Annie. You remind me so much of her throughout our conversation today, and just how she ran her classroom is very similar to how I imagine you run yours. You were in the Blue Jacket. Were you a state officer?
I was way back in the day. I mean, it's not too far. It was 2017, 2018. But yeah, I served with Rachel Zumbaugh.
Oh, cool. Okay, yeah. I remember you said at the beginning that you served as an officer, and I was like, I'm not sure if that same chapter on the state level. Is there lessons from that you take to your classroom?
Yeah, honestly, the kids get more excited the more excited you are. So that was something that I really learned my state officer year, was like, I always got put on a, oh gosh, what is that? What is that called? Not a breakout.
Small group?
Yeah, kind of.
Workshop,
it's like the curriculum that you're teaching. Yeah, I don't remember the actual correct word. But I always got put in the room that had like a little bit of deeper material that was like all about like who you are and finding yourself. And it was great stuff to teach, but sometimes it was tricky because there's a part that can get really deep if you let it. And like, ooh, we need a shovel because it's getting real deep in here. But it was more like, hey, let's put Annie on it, because then she could just bring all the energy, and then still fun, still kind of somewhat impactful, but not as deep. And like, we're not going to make the kids sad when they leave. So that is kind of what I've learned, is like, the more excited you are, the more excited the kids will be. There's one assignment that is all math, and you're like, yeah, I love math. Let's add these numbers. It'll be fun. And the kids are not liking it. But they smile and you do it with them and you all laugh. Or it's okay to make mistakes. Like sometimes there was chapter visits that I think I flopped them. I'm sure there was a few of them that they were like, wow, this was terrible. But it's going to happen. You shake it off. The nice thing about teaching is like, hey, yesterday really sucked. It was my bad. Totally just dropped the ball on it. Both of us were not feeling it. Let's fix it, going over it again. So don't let the big thing or the small thing shake you. It'll be fine.
Absolutely. I think just remembering that everybody's human too.
Yes.
I remember like through high school and even into college now, like if you have to talk to a representative, an official, a professor, heck, another ag teacher, like I've never met you in person. This is very intimidating over a screen miles and
Right.
miles away. That Miss Annie is a human too. She is just
Yep.
like you. She puts her pants on the same way you do in the morning. And just kind of like reinforcing that even if you make a mistake, other people do too, and no one is perfect. So, no, I think those are great lessons and so many great pieces of advice that you've left us with today. Is there one piece that you would leave with an ag teacher or students that are listening in today?
I think the big one that I always say, this is what I say to my students every single day that they leave, just be smart, be safe, be kind. And I know that sounds like such a random piece of advice, but do the smart thing. Think about what's going to happen. If it's going to hurt somebody, then don't do it. If it's going to be something that like, oh, that's kind of questionable, maybe you should skip it. But the big one for me is just always be kind. You never know what a kid is going through. You never know what a coworker is going through. And I think something that I like to say is this world can be a scary place, but let's not make it scarier for each other. So be kind to one another. Be kind to your coworkers. Be kind to the kids. Be kind to the student that, gosh, some days you're like, listen here, we're going to tussle, but we're not. Be kind to them because sometimes they just need the extra love. And don't be scared to reach out for help. There has been plenty of days that I text my ag teacher and say, what do I do for this? I need help. I don't know what to do. Or can you look over this? Or the amount of FaceTimes that my best friend Sky gets about like, hi, can you look at my chapter POA and make sure that this looks okay? Thanks. Ask for help. I still text the teacher that I student taught with because she will always provide advice if I need it. So just ask for help and be kind.
All great things, and everybody needs some grace from time to time, even if it's a little harder to give. I think your episode has given so many pieces of advice to our listeners and to myself. It was so great to meet you and hear about your teaching journey, and I cannot wait to connect with you in the future. Listeners, thank you for tuning in for another Friday, and I hope you enjoyed hearing Miss Annie's story.